Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. On this channel, I like to showcase the automotive culture and the positive impact it has on its community. Today's a fun update video. I'm going to get an update on the RX-7. I'm heading into DRSC right now to get an update from one of the owners, Dave Rasmussen. So let's go in there.
Hey guys, this is Dave with DRSC, one of the owners here. Got Mohammed's car here that we are working through some problems from the previous build on it, and nearing the tail end of it here. What we've done is updated the cooling system. It now has a Mazda 55 gallon per hour electric water pump. The problem that we were having is somebody at some point had, because of the turbo location, put a very small diameter crank pulley on it down there, and the water pump wouldn't spin fast enough at idle to keep up with cooling needs. So we decided to go electric on it, especially being that the radiator is low mounted. We also updated, there was a coolant expansion tank right here that leaked and was really small, and if for some reason it ever lifted ahead, we'd be puking coolant down right underneath the tires. So we moved that back here using the radium swirl pot type style expansion tank. It's got a coolant line that ties in with the heater core lines that we're running. There's another one that runs to the actual radiator down there, and then your steam ports come in up here. So once that's in and running, we should have a lot better control over the cooling system in the car and be able to get it to stay cool. We've also added a scavenge pump because of the turbo locations. The turbo oil drains were actually below the oil pan, and they had never addressed having a scavenge pump on it. They just figured that gravity would do its thing. Well, the thing smoked really bad out the tailpipes, and it was a constant mosquito fogger. So with the scavenge pump on there, we're utilizing an output from the Haltech Nexus to control that. So it is on a delay timer as well, so it'll help clear it after you shut the car off. Yeah, so we're just waiting on some fittings, some lines, and then we should be ready to get this thing back up and running. Just built some new wastegate dump pipes too as well. These are going to dump out the hood through this vent right here instead of down and onto the rack and pinion where it melted the boots off the rack and pinion from the previous design. Also went and just little attention to detail things, changed the orientation of both of the wastegate caps so all the fittings point out and out on either side, a little more symmetry. Rotated these so that the tile is up on both sides. Just little attention to detail things that the previous people just tossed the stuff in there and had it kind of lines that looked like lines were running everywhere. This used to point this way on the top and that way on the bottom, and this one used to point that way on the bottom and that way on the top, and just looked like chaos. So.
And then we had the hard lines in there as well, but we changed that out.
Yep, there was hard lines for the steam ports and for the wastegate lines, but they rubbed on everything and they ran underneath here, and there's just really not a lot of clearance.
And then how long did it take you to remove the intake? I mean, did it make a big time difference? And
it does make it a lot easier to get the intake on and off now. Yep. So if you need to take the intake off, it is a lot easier now. You don't have hard lines that are attached to everything, and you're trying to get in there a 1/16 of a turn at a time to get them loose. Also went to a drive-by wire setup on the car this year, so no more cables, much more safeties built in with it with that. Also better driver control with Haltech's torque management and stuff like that. We can dial in the traction control and throttle blade limit angles and stuff like that. So it's going to be a completely different animal when it comes back out, with having the ability to monitor, a lot more safeties in place, as well as the entire new wiring harness. So no more fire risks, no more starter issues, no more weird wires that were bundled together in just a jumbled mess.
Yeah, it was a weird situation, nonetheless.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the parts in general were okay, but I think just the way that things were set up.
The execution was terrible.
It was a big safety risk. And that's all we've really been addressing is just all safety things. I mean,
yep, get rid of oil in the hot exhaust. Granted, it's not going to catch the car on fire, but you might have a flame out the tailpipe, which can burn a bumper, and body parts for these cars are getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of little things that just take time, and a lot of custom ordered parts. We did add, the check valve up here on the brake booster as well, because there was never a check valve on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because got to have a check valve to maintain a little bit of vacuum, especially on a positive pressure system such as a turbo or supercharger. You'll actually pressurize the brake booster, which will make the brakes almost impossible to use instead of the vacuum assist. Yeah. So now we've got that in place as well, another safety issue that we just addressed. And then really the only thing we have left after, if it runs perfect and stays cool and everything, then we're going to quiet it down a little bit. Because right now it is straight 4-inch and it's quite loud. Yeah.
Yeah, there comes a certain point when you're at age where you can see our grays. We don't really want loud cars anymore.
Well, you saw the video on my car.
Yeah,
We just did, and it's like, it's still loud when you want it to be, but it's quiet when you're cruising and you can have a conversation. And same thing with this car. Right there, I can literally change the exhaust from quiet to obnoxiously loud with the push of a button on that car.
All right, so thanks again to Dave. Appreciate him taking the time to be on the video and kind of explain some of the cooling updates. Exciting that these have been completed. Majority of the cooling issues should be completely gone now. And now the next episode, it gets really spicy. So stay tuned. Be sure to check out the next episode. Thanks again for tuning in and watching this episode. See you guys on the next one. Peace in the Middle East. Later.